This video is not for whales and dolphins. It's for you, because you are just like me. Average Gamer here, and this video, more than any other video that I've made thus far, is really not for the whales and dolphins. It's for free-to-play and low-spend players. Why? Well, let's start at the top. Caesar King is shaping up to look like an excellent agent, no matter what state your account is in right now. She looks great. She's got a decent shield with anti-interrupt. It also buffs you with a big attack boost, plus 1,000. She gets a little debuff as well, and she can also suck. No, wait. She can also group enemies with her suck. Essentially, she's looking really good. But economically, for most free-to-play or low-spend players, post Jane, post essentially the most hyped up agent that we've had in the game so far, for free-to-play or low-spend players who got Jane, which is probably quite a lot of us, let's face it, Jane is a really good agent, we may or may not be able to get Caesar. Now, I mean, if we look at my polychrome count, you can see I'm on 8.5k, which is enough for about 50 pulls. And by the end of Caesar's banner, I could very well get enough to pull for Caesar. However, I'm not planning to take the 50-50 for Caesar because I want my account to be a good representation of the average free-to-play or low-spend player. And I just don't think that I'll win, and then it will be incredibly disappointing. So I'm going to come out now and say that I'm skipping Caesar, even though she would certainly benefit in my account. So what do I mean by the fact that she would certainly benefit my account? So let's have a look at my Shiyu defense teams. So we've got two teams here, and yes, I know I ran them on the wrong sides. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I've got two teams here, and I've got a Jane Doe team with Seth and Lucy, and then I've got a Juyuan team with Ambi and Nicole. Now, the Jane Doe team, we'd see a huge buff from replacing Lucy and putting Caesar in. But this is not the team that I think needs the help right now. So this team is doing absolutely fine. And also, I did clear the second half with the enemy weakness of physical without Lucy, and it was about 1 minute 40, which is ridiculous. Jane Doe, when there's weakness and when the buff for Shiyu defense is in her favor, like it very much is at the moment, just absolutely insane. And obviously it's been designed that way so that it makes Jane look better, and that makes sense. But then, moving on to the second team, the Juyuan team, we'd see a huge buff here as well from replacing Ambi with Caesar. Ambi? Yeah, Ambi. So Caesar scales on impact, and essentially as these enemies are quite aggressive, it's going to give her lots of opportunities to do her parry, which is where she's going to get a lot of that daze from. So essentially, yes, replacing Ambi with Caesar would see a huge buff for my Juyuan team. So if I was to get Caesar on either team, I would see a huge buff from Caesar. But like I said, economically, it's just not a good time right now for free-to-play and low-spend players because they've probably been wiped out by getting Jane Doe. And I myself, in my account, I've been chronicling it up till now. I pulled Juyuan after losing a 50-50 for Ellen, and then I pulled Jane Doe. And that's it. Those are the only two limited S ranks that I have, and those are the two limited S ranks that I built my account around. And Caesar is an upgrade for both. Not only that, and I didn't mention this when I started gassing up Caesar, but let's continue. She's incredibly versatile because she can work with any agent who can defensive assist, as opposed to evasive assist, which is basically all of them. There's about 4 that don't directly work with her, so it kind of means that you could slot her into any team and one of the other halves would be able to defensive assist. So for example, Juyuan evasive assists and she doesn't defensive assist, whereas Nicole does defensive assist. So you can just literally drop Ambi out and put Caesar in, and everyone still all smiles. So let's start talking about why I ran my teams on the wrong side. And essentially it's because I wanted to prove to myself that I could still clear the Shiyu defense, even though I don't think I'm that great at the game. And in fact, my comment section tells me that I'm terrible at the game all of the time. So you can continue to tell me that, and I'll show the footage now of me clearing Shiyu defense with my teams on the wrong side. And I made loads of mistakes, guys, loads. And I still managed to clear in less than the 5 minutes with the physical resistance against the enemy on the first side and no ether weakness or resistance on the second side. Now, naturally, you'd never run it like this. And in theory, if there was an enemy resistance on one side for physical, for example, you would just run Jane on the other side. And it's very unlikely that you'd end up in a situation where the enemy weaknesses would be both ether and physical, and then like ether on the other side for the resistance, sorry. So if that were to happen and there was physical resistances on both sides, then could Jane still do a good job, basically? Was kind of what I was trying to prove to myself, and I think she can. Not only that, but the Juyuan team did incredibly well against the enemy that's basically built for Jane Doe, because it gives you lots of opportunities to dodge and stuff. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that as much as Caesar is a great agent, she's not necessarily right now. The teams that we have, the teams that we've built, the teams that if you build them around your S-rank limited agents, you will be fine. You will be completely fine. So I'm standing by the fact that I don't think that Caesar will be a necessary pull, even though she is probably the most versatile agent and probably, if not the best, then one of the best just pure buffers that we have, if we include the fact that she's buffing and she also grants interruption resistance. Even though I think that, I have seen other content creators referring to Caesar as a must pull. No character in a gacha game is ever a must pull. You know who the must pulls are because you know who you want to pull for. And if you don't want to pull for Caesar, then that's fine. I, as I've already said, kind of do want to pull for Caesar, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to be able to guarantee her within the time frame. And like I've talked about before, you want to get to that 20,000 polychrome so you can definitely make sure that you are going to get Caesar before her banner starts. Because right now, it's a bit of a crapshoot as to whether or not I would be able to get Caesar. I'd be able to take a 50-50 probably within her banner, but pretty high chance that I actually don't manage to get her. Caesar does look great, she looks fantastic, and you should probably get her. If you're sitting on 20,000 polychrome right now, she's a great pickup, absolutely great. Especially if, unlike me, let's say you got Juyuan and Jane Doe, and you actually didn't lose both 50-50s. Maybe you won one of those 50-50s. So you're actually coming into this patch with a whole bunch more polychrome than me. Maybe Caesar is the right play. Maybe Caesar is the right pickup. But for a lot of us, I think Jane Doe will have wiped us out, and economically it might not be a right time right now. And I just want to tell you that if that's you, you'll be fine. Like we've proved, you don't need to be benefiting from all of the buffs in Shiyu defense. You can even run it with resistance and still clear with an S rank. And that's me, who people have commented is terrible at the game. Now, bonus, for anyone who's still here, we're going to head on over to the Box Galaxy because I've been watching some build review stuff and I don't feel like anyone's talking about this enough, but I run Seth. Let's have a look at my Seth with an attack Wenjin. And I do this because it's not actually an attack Wenjin, because the base attack was actually higher than Starlight Engine on the A rank for this Roaring Ride, which I just had hanging around because I wasn't using Piper because I kind of replaced Piper with Jane. And it means that he doesn't get like the extra part of the weapon down here, but he does benefit from the base attack, which makes his shield bigger, which kind of, is useful for Jane. I mean, it's not the most useful thing in the world, but essentially, like, he only scales on attack, so you should just build him with as much attack as you can. And eventually, you'll probably want to get this crit rate, crit damage a little bit better, maybe get his impact a little bit better, so that he stuns better and does more damage, right? That's the long-term goal. But essentially, to start off with, just probably build him on attack. Now, Caesar, from what we've seen from the guide so far and the information that's come out on Caesar, she scales on impact. Now, impact means that there isn't a defense weapon that's really going to benefit her that much. If we go and look at Box Galaxy here, the defense weapons, in terms of what your options are, you could go for the original Transmorpher, which gives a small amount of impact when you're attacked, and this would go up higher at higher refinements. So if we go and have a look at this. So at higher level refinements, you can see that as we level it up, it only gets the HP buff, but at higher level refinements, you could argue that the impact here is kind of worth 16%, not bad, but you'd probably just be better off, instead of relying on that Wenjin effect, just having a constant 15% boost, right? So if you just went for an A rank and Wenjin, level it up to 60, 15%. You don't even have to worry about the refinements and stuff because the refinements are going to boost the extra thing down here. You get 15% all of the time or 16% only when you trigger the original Transmorpher's ability. You're probably better off with just 15% all of the time and just going with an A rank Wenjin. This isn't to mention the fact, of course, that if, for example, let's just look at my ambi so we can find it quickly. If, for example, you lucked into an S rank stun Wenjin, then the impact will scale higher. You can see I haven't leveled this all the way up right now, but if I had leveled this all the way up, then the impact would be higher on this one. This is Lycan's weapon. And yeah, that's right. I remembered how to say Lycan, because it's the same as like and subscribe to support your favorite YouTubers. That's my thing, because I keep seeing build reviews and they're not talking about the fact that if she scales on impact, then just build her for impact. Okay, just build her for impact, and eventually you can work on things like her attack and her crit rate and crit damage so that she can actually contribute to damage better. But for now, I'm not making a build guide on Caesar, but for anyone who is getting Caesar, you probably, if you made it this far in the video, build her for impact. So just stick impact on her and ignore the Wenjin effect. Hopefully these thoughts were useful or they supported you in some way if you're also a free-to-play low-spend player who hasn't been able to get together enough polychrome to get Caesar. And if that's the case, I feel for you, man, but we're in this together and we'll be fine. No one's a must pull. You'll be okay. So remember to like and subscribe for better than average luck on your next pulls. I'll leave my video at the end here, the 5 simple rules for pulling in Zenless Zone Zero, in case you're interested moving forwards. And thanks very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for better than average luck on all your pulls moving forwards. And join the Discord. Join the Discord. It's fun in there. Bye, bye, bye.